So you might ask yourself, what are we doing now? Well, let's see. Now we are going to be adding all of these products, a little bit of each, to a bowl of flour. And that flour is going to make the breading for the fried chicken that we were supposed to do yesterday and we didn't. So I will put in the chili powder, and I will put in the garlic powder. You just need a little because we have 4 slices or 4 pieces of meat to cover. And instead of salt today, I'm using adobo, which is really good for salty products. A little bit of black pepper. You know, it's hard when you're doing it with one person. I do have a new camera, but I can't figure out how to use it. So, and then we need to put in a tablespoonful of baking powder. And just a little bit more than that too, so spoonful and a half. And then mix it all up. And what we're going to do next is take a bag of flour. I keep my flour and everything in the freezer so it doesn't get weevils. There is an actual thing called a weevil, and it is a bug. So you add that to that. I'm just going to use the rest of it because I have other things that I want to make next week, so I'll use that breading still. And so then you take the seasonings and everything that we put together and put it right in the middle there, and it's all set. And then you put this in your sink and wash it up really good, but make sure before you dip the chicken in there, which will be the next thing that we do, just make sure that you got your flour and everything mixed up really well. So the chicken has been marinating in this metal bowl for 2 days. Look how beautiful it is. Wow. I have to put the lid somewhere for right now because the sink is covered with the pan that we're going to bread the chicken and place on there for a few minutes. So I make sure the flour is all mixed up really well. And then grab the chicken out of the flour or the marinade and just put it in the flour and get it all covered with flour. Remember, that's the flour with the all the things in that we just put in, and it should give the chicken an amazing flavor when it cooks. What we're going to do is bread it once and let it sit for a bit, and then it'll all dwell in with the moisture that's in the chicken, and then we'll dip it in there one more time and then put it in the oil. So that's the chicken. Those are the thighs right now. So look at that, isn't that cool? It really looks good. And that's our flour that we just made. So you just let it sit on the sheet pan for a little bit, and then take the last drumstick out and do the same with it. Make sure you bread it really good. You want to make sure every spot that had wetness on it has flour on it now. That's the most important part. And like I said, we're going to roll it in there one more time before we put it in oil. And the oil will be going on the stove here momentarily. And there's the last leg. The last leg of this tour. I know, Mr. Funny Guy. Mr. Funny Guy. Mr. Funny breading chicken guy. So there we go. And that's all we do for now, and then we come back to that in a few minutes. And before we put it in the oil, we dip it in the flour again.